Hi there. My name is Kelley Edwards, and welcome to your yoga practice today. This class is going to be one that is based around non attachment. So it's going to be a little bit of an ego buster of a class. So basically, the idea for today is to not have any expectations. So, when was the last time that you did something just because it made you happy? It brought you joy. Instead of doing something with a motive or for a reason to get something out of it. So, when we come to our yoga practice, we can see a lot of cool shapes online, maybe on Instagram and books, and we think that our bodies have to replicate it exactly. But we're all put together a little bit differently. Some of us have boundaries in the body just because of the way the skeleton is put together. So there are going to be things that are sort of always going to be out of reach. So we have to be okay with that. But the ego will get involved and tell us that we're not pushing hard enough, we're doing something wrong. It will create frustration and disappointment and can sometimes lead to us not getting on our mat and practicing. So, we're going to move everything in the body today, really address all the major points, do a little bit of all of the shapes, the balancing, the core work. And I am going to throw in some shapes where the ego is really going to want to speak to you and get involved. And it's your job today to quiet that and just practice because it feels good. Practice because it's fun and you learn something about yourself every time you get on the mat. So that's going to be what we're working with today. Kind of a big thing to work in a yoga practice. So let's get started lying down so that you can feel a little bit calmer and balanced right off the bat. Okay. Again, keep checking in class today. Anytime the ego starts to tell you something, push harder, it's not good enough. All those things are lies. What you're doing is perfect. Where you are is perfect. Okay. So lying down, if you would like, you can use a block or a blanket underneath your head. You can come down to a nice long position. If that doesn't make your lower back feel good right away, feel free to bend the knees, taking the feet as wide as the mat, and you can drop the knees together for knock knees. Otherwise, legs can be long, the arms can be open. Just make sure that your shoulders are away from your ears so you can gently lift your chest up and settle the shoulder blades down the back. Go ahead and close your eyes. Relax any tension across your face. And start to connect with your breath. And again, I implore you to ask yourself, when was the last time that I did something truly because I wanted to? When was the last time I did something from love, from joy, or even doing something for others without any expectation of something in return coming back? So what did that time look like for you? How did you feel before, during, and after that event, that activity, whatever it is for you? And then ask yourself, when was the last time that I did something or even said something with a motive in mind, with a favor that I wanted back, or with an expectation? What did that look like for you? And how did that feel before, during, and after? And even recognizing if there were any maybe unique consequences from moving from love or moving with expectation. You might find that when you live with love in mind, when you live with compassion, with just the want to take care of others, that some really nice, unexpected benefits came after. Maybe a new opportunity presented itself to you. Maybe you were able to let go of something from your past. When we don't live with an expectation, we're able to be more genuine and authentic, living in the moment. So just keep that in mind. To live without attachment is to be present and open to just the unfolding of each second. Start to wiggle your toes and your fingers a little bit, bringing life back to your body. And so our intention that we're going to work with today is that I am not attached to any outcome. Okay, no matter what happens on our mat in our poses today, it's what's meant to happen. It's what's right for us. No need to push or strain or force. So go ahead and draw your right knee in towards your chest now. Let your left leg extend long. Make sure that your left toes and your left knee are pointing up to the sky. Really hug that right knee in with your hands, or you can use a strap here around the thigh. Press the top of your left thigh bone down into the earth and feel how that action makes you want to reach through that inner left heel a bit more. Go ahead and do that and feel a nice stretch between the inner seam of the legs. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Really stretch the legs apart from one another. Then soften the pull of that right knee. Keep the left leg long and active as it is. And then start to drop your right knee out and open to the side, bringing the foot to the left inner thigh, maybe even going below that towards the knee. We want to get to a point where the ankle can rest, the thigh, the knee can rest on the ground. So it doesn't have to be floating up in the air here. We're looking for a nice external rotation and release. We're essentially here in Supine Tree Pose. Okay, so gently flex through your left foot. Imagine you're standing on that foot. Right foot as high up into the thigh as possible, and really try to root, stretch, and ground through that right inner knee. Pull your ribs and navel down. You can open your arms out to the side. Imagine you're in tree pose standing here. And not about how deep we're getting. It's not about accomplishing a certain shape. It's not about perfection. What does that even mean anyways? Let this feel good. Let it be fun. Then go ahead and step that right foot, knee pointing up to the sky, and extend that right leg long. Go ahead and pedal the knees and you can flop the feet. Left knee will hug into the heart, hands are strapped. As you pull up on that left knee, think of reaching through right inner heel. Make sure right knee and toes are pointing up to the sky as if you're standing on that right leg. Press the top of your right thigh bone back towards the mat. Let that reach your right leg longer. Hold for 3 more breaths. And start to soften the pull on that left knee, going into that supine tree. So bringing foot towards inner thigh and then letting the left knee drop down. Long and open. External rotation in the hip. Still essentially standing on that right leg. Core toned. Press left foot into right leg. And again, you can take your arms out. Imagine you're standing in tree. Opening up the body, but still feeling some strength and work here. 2 more breaths. And then step the left foot, knee pointing up. Bring the right knee in as well, planting the foot, and go ahead and drop the knees down side to side together for windshield wipers. And then bring the soles of the feet together, let the knees drop open for reclined Baddha Konasana, so that external rotation in both of the hips. Just here for 5 breaths, really try to let the legs soften so that the surrendering into that heaviness is what drops you deeper into the stretch. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Then you can help the knees come together. Knees can hug into your heart if you want, rocking gently from side to side. And then you can go ahead and drop down to your right, pressing up to tabletop, or you can hold the backs of the knees, rock yourself up and down the spine, getting a nice massage here. And then coming up and around, tabletop pose. So have your wrists underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. Begin to move with your breath. Cat and cow. Inhaling for your cow. And exhale, rounding up. Again, no expectations here. So even in a simple move like this, one that we've done numerous times, the ego might be trying to push you into the depth that you're used to finding here. But let the spine warm and open. Every time we come to our mat, it truly is a different story. It really is a different body that we're working with. So things that may have been accessible yesterday are not today, and vice versa. Just keep moving here with your breath and making sure it feels good instead of thinking it should look a certain way. You do you. Let's take 1 more breath. Coming back to a neutral spine, toning your belly. Inhale, tuck the toes, lift the knees and hips, downward facing dog. Exhaling to settle into your shape. Let's take 5 nice deep mindful breath here, pedaling the knees, moving your body. Again, even here we might think, oh, I have to look a certain way. Yes, there's some positioning, some anatomy we want to be aware of, but everyone's a little different. It's okay to not be doing everything I ask of you. Make it still work for your body. On your next inhale, let's press ourselves forward to plank pose. You can drop to your knees if you'd like. And exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, curling up, cobra pose. And exhale, back up to dog. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhaling, plank. Exhale, vinyasa. Your job is to notice when the ego starts telling you something isn't good enough or something isn't right, and quieting it. 1 more time. Returning to dog. Take 1 more breath here. Inhale, looking forward. Exhale, folding yourself up. Inhaling halfway. Exhale, let go. Inhale, root down to rise. Exhale, mountain. Stepping to the front of your mat. Find your mountain pose, and your blocks you can have placed at the top of your mat as well. Make sure your knees are unlocked. Really let the feet root down into the earth. Top of the arm bones back. Soften the ribs, engage the core. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold. Inhaling, halfway lift. Now exhale, left foot will go back for high lunge. Keep the knee lifted. And inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Nice bend in the knee. Maybe softening that back knee a little bit as well. Now, your arms reaching up to the sky, so shoulder blades changing a bit on the back body. Just try to relax your neck and inner arms. 1 more inhalation. And as you exhale, spin that left heel down and turn yourself open to warrior 2. Again, relaxing shoulders. Try to get that front thigh parallel to the earth and unlocking that back knee. Inhale, straighten the right leg, reach forward, and then exhale, come down for triangle pose. Right hand can go to shin. You can have your block or hand on the thigh. Here is an ego check-in. Are we trying to get our hand down to the earth and compromising our shape here? Does it not feel good in the body? We're looking for stacked shoulders, stacked hips, a big open heart. So lift yourself up and out to find those aspects of triangle and then slowly start to sink in. Don't worry about what you've seen, what you think it should look like. Find those major points and let the pose work for your body, not your body working for the pose. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, cartwheel the hands. Right foot goes back, finding plank pose. Inhale. Exhale, lower through a vinyasa. Down dog for 5 breaths. Moving here if it feels good. Let go of expectations. Think of our intention. I am not attached to any outcomes. 1 more breath. Inhale, looking to the hands. Exhale, folding up. Inhaling halfway. Exhale, let go. Inhale, root down, rise up, stand tall. Exhale, mountain. At the top of your mat, mountain pose. Good posture. Again, couple things to keep in mind. Knees unlocked, ribs and core pulling back, shoulders soft. But you might be a little bit different, and that's okay. Make it work for you. Next inhale, arms sweeping up. Exhale, fold. Inhaling halfway. And exhale, right foot will go back. High lunge. Knee stays up. Inhale, arms reach. A good bend in the front knee, maybe a soft back knee. And again, outer arms really reaching up, but try to relax your neck and jaw. And that should place your shoulders where they belong. Belly tone. One more breath. As you exhale, dropping that right heel down, opening up for warrior two, just changing that back foot a bit, getting a nice sink in the front knee. A really wonderful external rotation here in that left hip. So think of pressing your left outer hip down and kind of tucking underneath you. And then the top of the right thigh bone just moving back gently in space. Inhale, straighten the left leg. Start to reach forward with the left hand. And then exhale, coming down into triangle pose. Make sure knees are not locking. Pull your ribs in, navel in. Again, ego buster here. So what is the mind telling you in this shape? Doesn't matter what it looks like too much, of course, as long as we're being safe with our alignment. But nothing special is going to happen if we get the hand to the ground. So it's about the journey getting there. Again, points to look at. Knees are unlocked. Hips are stacked. Shoulders are stacked. Chest is big, broad, proud. So lift up out of your triangle pose. Make those adjustments. And then slowly start to sink in. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Nothing a good triangle pose can't fix, right? And then inhale, lunging into front knee, warrior two, rising back up. Exhale, cartwheeling the hands down, taking it back, plank pose, inhale. Exhale, vinyasa. Finding downward facing dog. Let's hold here for 3 breaths. And inhale, extend your right leg up and back, 3-legged dog. And exhale, pull knee into the heart and step the foot between the hands. Left knee stays lifted, high lunge. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, spin the heel down, warrior two. Inhale, straighten that right leg, reach forward. And exhale, dropping into triangle. Once again, check in with the ego. Has it quieted a bit? Are you more feeling than thinking? Let's take 3 more breaths here. Again, shoulders and hips stacking, chest is big. Inhale, right knee lunges, rise up, warrior two. Exhale, cartwheeling the hands down. Step back, plank, inhale. Tone the belly. Exhale, vinyasa. Three breath in dog. I am not attached to any outcomes. Remind yourself of that as you inhale, left leg reaches up. Exhale, left foot steps forward. High lunge, inhale, rising up. Exhale, opening, warrior two. Inhale, straighten the front leg, reach forward. And exhale, come down, triangle, holding here. Check in with the thoughts. Are you having fun? If not, back off a little bit. Don't take it too seriously. Just enjoy why you're doing this shape, to open the body, to get to know yourself. It's not about sticking a certain look. Inhale, rising up, warrior two. Exhale, cartwheel, hands down. Left foot goes back, plank pose, inhale. Tone the belly, vinyasa. Back to dog. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Inhale, looking forward. Exhale, step or hop, top of the mat. Inhaling halfway. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rise up, reach, stand tall. Exhale, mountain. All right, find just a good place to stand on your mat. We're gonna balance in tree if you need. Come to the wall, or you can grab hold of a chair if your balance is a little wobbly today. Another one of those ego buster poses. So when we balance, we can sometimes get frustrated with ourselves. So stay very present. There are things that you can be paying attention to keep yourself balanced and stable here. It's usually when the mind starts to wander that the body wobbles. So let's just soften that left knee just a little bit, again, making sure it's not locked out. Bending the right knee so that the heel lifts, and we're going to turn the knee out to the side and bring the heel to the ankle. This is our starting point. Hands can be on the waist, reaching out, reaching up, wherever you would like for tree. Toning belly, rooting down, thinking tall. If this is going well, lift the foot off the mat, bring it to the lower leg. Make sure that left knee isn't locked out, so when it's soft, we're able to kind of dance around with the foot as it brings us back. This is going well. You can use the right hand to assist, bringing the foot higher up to the inner thigh. Now, I'm not just leaving the foot here. I'm actively squeezing left glute, pressing inner thigh back into that right foot to feel the balance. Right knee is externally rotated, pressing down and maybe back a little bit. If you fall, who cares? Just come back up into your tree pose. Not a big deal. We all fall, we all wobble. Part of the fun. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Just notice what the mind is telling you. Then go ahead and come down. Shake your hips a little bit. You can do some hula hoops, some nice circles. Let's do other side. Right knee unlocked. Softer knee, weight on that right side. Left knee is bent, heel comes to ankle. Externally rotating from the top of that thigh, so turning out. Right knee is softer, core engaged. Then you can bring the foot to the lower leg. Balancing here now. Wobbling is fine. I call it a dance. Things are going well. Left foot can come all the way up. Try not to place the foot on the kneecap, even though they fit perfectly into one another. If we lose our balance and kick the knee, we could injure ourselves. So foot goes above or below the knee, never on it. Wobbling is okay. You're never going to really find a point where there's nothing for you to do here in balancing. So even me, though I look like I'm standing quite still, if you look at my foot, I'm constantly readjusting. Okay? So always work to do. But I'm not attached to an outcome. If I fall, I fall. And I'll just get back up. Take 1 more breath. And coming down. Shaking through the hips, side to side, maybe some hula hoops. You might notice, I did, at least in my yoga practice, that when I stopped taking it so seriously, when I stopped feeling the need to stick and land a pose, my progress, my improvement was huge. By having fun, I actually advanced my yoga practice. So let's come to the top of the mat. Find your mountain pose. Good posture. Inhaling, arms lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling halfway. Exhale, back to plank, and lower all the way down to your tummies. Untucking your toes. If your low back tends to be a problem for you, go ahead and widen the feet. Letting the heart drop, go ahead and reach your arms down by your sides. And try to have your hands placed so that the thumbs are down and then the palms are like clapping your outer hips. So palms in towards the body, pinkies up, thumbs down. Okay. So let your shoulder heads kind of drop a little bit forward here. Press into the tops of the feet, lifting and activating the knees. Press down into your pubic bone, which will turn your glutes on. Help that action by engaging the core. Now, as you inhale, we're going to do some locust. So as you inhale, start to lift the heart, the shoulders up. You can reach the arms. And then exhale, press down into pubic bone and lift the legs. Try to keep shoulders away from the ears, spread through the toes, and think long before you think up. So we're looking for length that can then curl up to the sky instead of crunching the back and breaking it to come up. This is another ego buster. One more inhale. Exhale to come down. You can bring one arm forward and turn to a cheek. Try to let the back body soften and let go. So when we back bend, and especially on the floor, again, the ego can get a little frustrated because it wants to get higher, 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 lift taller. But the back body can be so weak for us based on our lifestyle, so it just doesn't have the strength. So this is a really good area to check in and just say like, hey, this is where I'm at, and it's okay, and I'm working on it. Arms by your side. Let's add on. Pressing into the feet. As you inhale, roll your shoulders up and back. Think of squeezing shoulders towards the spine. And now press the shoulders down to your hips, lifting up maybe a little bit more. Arms can reach higher. Next exhale, press down into your pubic bone to lift the legs up. Spread the toes. Now with each inhale, can you lift a little higher on the wave of the breath? And exhale, can you soften just a bit? Staying up, but just riding that flow up and down. One more breath here. Slowly coming down. Left elbow can come forward, resting on the side of the face. All right, let's do one more. This time, if you would like, hands can interlace on your sacrum. Again, we're doing this to check in and see what the mind tells us. Notice what is false. Things like you can't, you're not doing this right. That's not the truth. You're doing what you can and it's perfect. It's right. All right, last time, press into the feet. As you inhale, curl the heart up, shoulders rolling down the back. The arms and hands can start to reach back and lift up. And then press into pubic bone, lift the legs. Doesn't matter how high you get, think length. Know that this is doing amazing things to make your back muscles stronger, which will help your posture, which will help your life. Take 2 more breaths. Slowly releasing down. Let the hands release the clasp. This time both arms can come up, resting your forehead, softening your glutes. You can bend your knees and do some reverse windshield wipers here. When you're ready, go ahead and press yourself back to a child's pose. I like arms reaching out in front of me here. It really gives a good stretch to the lower back that may be feeling a lot from those locust lifts. And if you come out of those floor back bends with like a lot of jarring activity, it could be a sign that you pushed too hard. So yes, we should feel some tension, but it should feel like the arm muscles do or the abdominals do after some core work or curls. Same action, same feeling in the back. We don't want to find pain there. So go ahead and swing your legs out in front of you. Make sure you're not locking the knees out even here. So a little soft bend in the knees, flexing the toes. Root down into the sit bones to rise taller. And inhale, lift the arms up to the sky. And exhale, release down into your fold. So once you start to drop the heart, make sure you're not leading this fold with the shoulder heads. Get shoulders away from the ears. Try to bring your tummy to your thighs, your heart to your knees, and then your forehead would go to your shin. So even here in a forward fold, the ego can get involved and tell us that we're not doing this right if we're not getting to the feet. Not true. Not true. Okay, whatever fold degree you are in is exactly what the body needs right now. Let your yoga practice be about you, not replicating what others have done. Take 2 more breaths here. And slowly walking yourself up. We'll go ahead and just cross the legs, take a nice easy seated position. Again, inhale, think tall. And exhale, twist to your left. Exhaling to release, coming back to center. Big inhale, sitting up tall. Exhale, twisting to the right. Exhaling, releasing. Then go ahead and lie yourself down for Shavasana Pose. So if you need supine spinal twists, a happy baby, or even just some windshield wipers here, you can take a little bit of movement before you drop in. But when you do, legs are long, arms are open. Lift the chest up a bit so you can settle the shoulders away from your ears, chin away from your chest. Just drop into your rest and relaxation. And check in with how well you did to be true to yourself, to practice without expectations of an outcome or shape or goal. Yoga is something that cannot be mastered. There are over 2,000 poses. And so it really takes a whole lifetime, and if you believe, lifetimes, to really get yoga, to really understand what it is all about. It is about the journey. It's not about the end. There is no end. So if the ego is really firing up, if the ego is really mad that he couldn't be a part of your practice today, then just remember that it will get tougher before it gets easier. So when we start to quiet the ego, it ramps up. It gets afraid that it's losing its power. We just have to be stronger than it. Just a few more moments here in stillness. I'll let you know when it's time to release. Start to bring yourself back to your body and your breath. Take one final moment of promise to yourself here that you'll move and live more from the heart, more from love, more from just caring about others, instead of living with expectations. On your next inhale, reach the arms long overhead, stretch through the body, and exhale, soften, surrender. Bend your knees, you may hug them into your heart, and sweetly release down to your right side, staying here for a moment. Keeping your eyes closed if you can, go ahead and press yourself up to an easy seated pose. Bringing your hands prayer in front of your heart. Rooting down to rise up tall. Repeating our intention one more time for yourself. I am not attached to any outcomes. Really live that, really make that true, and see how your life can change. A moment of gratitude for this time on our mat, connecting with our bodies, our breath, and ourselves. Bow your brain, sealing everything in. And namaste. Thank you so much for joining me with this practice. I hope you are really feeling good and you take this lesson to heart. It is life-changing to live from love. That's what matters. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next class. Namaste.